10, 11, 12, the 10th day of the 11th month of the year 2012. A big day in Kenya for football lovers that saw Tusker FC emerge tops, successfully defending the Kenya Premier League title. Congratulations. But a sad day in Turkana County that has seen at least 7 policemen killed by bandits while on an operation to recover stolen livestock. We have all the details. We welcome you to stay with us throughout this live newscast. I'm Sophia Wanuna. Let's begin with a look at the highlights. Seven police officers shot dead in a daring cattle raid.
Forward to the champions. Champions turn to 12. Tusker FC.
Gor Mahia draw with Thika United to hand league title to Tusker. ODM and Wiper MPs meet to push for Raila Kalonzo alliance. And still on KTN Saturday Night Live, 3 more interviewed for top police job. All right, let's begin with that story. In Samburu, where at least 7 police officers have been shot dead and 9 others seriously wounded after they were attacked by a group of heavily armed cattle rustlers in Baragoi division of Samburu County. The police officers were attacked while combing Baragoi for stolen cattle. The injured have been airlifted to Kenyatta National Hospital for treatment. Baragoi is a hotspot for cattle raiders, and just last month, police gunned down 4 suspected bandits in the area. KTN's Ulkisa Nyabo begins our bulletin with that report.
Shortly after 6 o'clock on Saturday evening, a police aircraft ferrying 9 Kenya police officers landed at the Wilson Airport. To find ambulances and medical personnel waiting for the police officers on board. The 9 police officers were injured after they walked into an ambush laid by bandits in Baragoi, Samburu North. Early Saturday morning, a security team comprising police reservists, regular and administration police officers, and officers from the General Service Unit left for Limorok village in Samburu North on a mission to recover cattle that had been stolen from residents 3 weeks ago. The bandits opened fire on the police. Following the exchange, at least 7 police officers would lose their lives. Samburu North Deputy OCPD Ben Makori confirmed the incident that saw 20 other officers sustain injuries. 9 wounded officers were airlifted to Nairobi for treatment. The incident comes just a week after a group of Samburu youth was shot dead while allegedly attempting to recover the stolen cattle they had pursued the rustlers. Locals say trouble began when cattle rustlers reportedly stole 450 cattle from a local community 3 weeks ago. They then reportedly defied calls to return the herd in order to foster peace in the area, prompting the police to mount an operation to return the herds of cattle to their owners. Residents are now reported to be fleeing the area in fear of retaliatory attacks. Wilkis Anyabwa, KTN, Saturday Night.
A former director of police operations, David Kimayo, has blamed the 2007 post-election violence on delays in announcing presidential results. Now, for the closely contested election and what he described as, quote, careless statements that were made by politicians and the then chairman of the defunct Electoral Commission of Kenya, Samuel Kivuitu. At the same time, Kimayo and former Rift Valley police boss Joseph Ashimala said the violence was spontaneous, but law enforcement agencies did their best to control the mayhem. The two made their observations on the second day of vetting candidates for the top police job. KTN's Patrick Amimo brings us more.
Senior Deputy Commissioner of Police David Kimayo wants to succeed Police Commissioner Matthew Itere as Kenya's first Inspector General of Police. During the post-election violence, he was the Director of Police Operations. Kimayo told the panel he regrets Kenyans lost lives, others were injured, and thousands more were uprooted from their homes during the mayhem.
You are the man directing operations. You are the person upon whom Kenyans depended when it came to planning properly for the security of this country during those elections. What went wrong?
If there is breakdown of law and order, sometimes it is very difficult to administer the same law. You have to go back to the drawing board, look at how you can be able to manage that particular issue.
Can you tell us exactly why Kenyans can trust you now?
Silly mistake in terms of spontaneous eruption of this problem was the main cause of the entire process.
What are the steps that can be taken to remove the apprehension of every Kenyan, the fear of even going to cast the ballot?
We have lessons learned that we should not actually have a repeat. We know all our geographical areas of this country that we think that emanation or triggers of conflict might end up going to erupt. And that is an area where we shall focus and put more emphasis on security coverage.
Kimayo said the voting process was smooth, but there was a build-up of tension and animosities when the presidential results were delayed.
On 30th in the morning, the results were supposed to be announced at 9, but again there was a delay. And some kind of a funny statements that were emerging from the announcement desk. Some people announcing leaders that so-and-so has won, not on so-and-so. Even some of the careless statements being issued even by the chairman.
Deputy Commandant of the Kiganjo-based Kenya Police Training College, Joseph Ashimala, is also interested in the top police job. Ashimala was the deputy police boss of Nyanza province when the violence erupted and was later transferred to Rift Valley province to be the police boss when the violence was at its peak.
I was in Nyanza as deputy PPO. There was violence. I moved to Rift Valley. There was also violence. I dealt with very traumatizing situations to an extent that I was hardened. That hardening is what will make me be eligible for Inspector General, because I'll not pass the buck when I get the job to say that it was not me, it is somebody else. I'll have to deal with the issues the way I dealt with them in both provinces. And if there will be any problem, return the country back to normal. One has to take a decision whether the decision is popular or not.
The panel sought explanation from Ashimala on why he agreed to be transferred on short notice to 2 trouble spots during the height of the poll chaos.
I did not even have time to get surprised. It was simply an order. Move to Rift Valley, take over and proceed. And that is what I did. When I reached Rift Valley, I had no time to think. It was just putting operational plans in place, and in fact, I even spent 2 months without sleeping.
The 2 senior police officers gave their opinion on how the violence occurred.
It was in this spontaneous everywhere. If we were not able to secure this place, the clashes of 2008, 2007 could have started from this building.
Lawyer Patrick Ochieng was the first civilian to be interviewed for the post later in the evening. On Monday, the panel will interview Peter Masharia Mwangi of the State Law Office, police spokesman Eric Kiraithe, and Mary Oyugi Kaol of the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol. Patrick Amimo, KTN, Saturday Night.
Now, residents living around Nairobi Dam have lamented that the once clean natural water body has since degenerated into a stinky sewer that is now a breeding ground for stubborn mosquitoes. The neglected dam now has authorities passing the buck, with the City Council, National Environment Management Authority and the provincial administration denying responsibility over the water body. KTN's Ansoi Mwendia brings us more.
Before the 90s, Nairobi Dam was a recreational facility complete with a sailing club. Fast forward 20 years later, the dam is, well, more like a sewer. People living near the dam now lament that they have to keep their windows shut to reduce the stench coming into their houses. They have also invested in all manner of mosquito repellents and sprays, but none seems to be working. Day and night, mosquitoes just won't go away.
Inakukula mpaka mchana ukitembea, sababu zimebleed kwa wingi because of the stagnant water from the dam.
The last 3 months have particularly been difficult. These residents blame a contractor who is putting up a high-rise building next to the dam for their woes.
So vile alianza kujenga ni kama maji ilifungiwa upande ule mwingine. So ikakuwa maji haiendi, ikakuwa stagnant all over. ikakuwa sasa mosquito imeanza bleeding.
When the bulldozers started digging the foundation for that construction, the walls of the dam collapsed.
We walk into the construction site to see the outlet residents claim was closed. The contractor here tells us that when the development started, the banks of the dam showed signs of giving way. The District Environment Committee, chaired by the District Commissioner, stopped the construction to deal with the weakening walls of the dam.
An emergency spillway was opened, which was lower, its level was lower than the original spillway.
Once the dam dried up, the contractor reinforced the banks with gabions. In the meantime, some Nairobians moved onto the floor of the dam and started cultivating food crops and putting up makeshift housing structures.
The District Environmental Committee requested him to block and close the emergency spillway so that the water can go back to its original spillway. That is where the issue of mosquitoes came in.
Every wastewater is actually that it's now all being drained into the dam. And why the dam is smelling and looks like it's now a pool of wastewater is that the dilution factor has been minimal. We have not had rain for a while until the reason when it came back. So all that has been coming in has been little of water and most of the wastewater.
The original outlet of the dam is open and water is flowing. However, water hyacinth and other plants in the dam are blamed for creating a good environment for mosquitoes to breed.
The issue of the mosquitoes, we have talked with the public health, together with the city council. They are in a plan to come and spray the dam.
But question is, how often will the spraying be? The action may keep mosquitoes at bay for a short while. But what about the polluted water near residential areas? The DO's office and NEMA say the dam is the responsibility of the city council. We could not get comment from the council. As for this development, NEMA says as long as it is 30 meters from the riparian area, it is okay. Previous plans to restore the dam have ended in futility.
We are yet to embark on the issues of resettling people who are sitting on the riparian.
High-rise estate alone where I am has at least 3,000 households. Nairobi Dam across the dam, of course, has many more thousands of households. And then there is Langata Estate and, of course, the Kibera slum, probably one of the largest slums in Africa. These households continue to face this health hazard every day. Unless drastic action is taken to deal with this eyesore, we are likely to be seeing more health complications going forward.
Anso Mwendia, KTN, Saturday Night.
Now, Tusker Football Club is this year's Tusker Premier League winner. And the City Stadium was alive by 10 a.m. this morning as Gor Mahia's faithful thronged their home ground to cheer their team, which needed to sink Thika United and end their 17 years wait for the Kenya Premier League. But their hopes were dashed as Thika United held firm to deny Kogalo the most coveted silverware in the country. Dejected fans had to walk all the way to the city centre to finish the league in their routine style at the Tom Mboya statue. Nicholas Midimba witnessed the moments and filed this report.
As early as 10 a.m., the City Stadium was the place to be. The usual suspects at the Bama flyover were not there. Instead, security officers took charge to ensure no one risked their life. As expected, there was heavy traffic along Jogoo Road, and the hawk-eyed traffic policemen ensured no one overlapped. Security was tight inside and outside the stadium. Fans waited patiently inside the stadium for action. It was a tense affair for them, and blame game was the order of the first half as Thika United got their first goal. Outside the stadium, the Kogalo media was also at hand with a fun interview segment. The sad Gor Mahia faces were brightened when Gor Mahia Rama Salim scored the equalizer, but time was not on their side since Tusker were leading 2-0 at Hope Center. The final whistle was unbelievable to Gor Mahia fans. Some left speechless. Inside the stadium, Gor Mahia players were having the disaster of a lifetime.
Tukubali tumeshindwa, lakini I'm happy we are tukombelea FC.
The results triggered bizarre scenes on Landis Road as the Kogalo faithful walked slowly to the usual spot on Tom Mboya Street. just to call it a day in style. But the scene at the Hope Center was different as Tusker celebrated the back-to-back trophy, which came as a result of 3 goals against host City Stars. It was a joyous moment for coach Robert Matano, who won the cup in 2009 with Sofapaka. Nicholas Mudimba, KTN, Saturday night.
Well, congratulations to the Tusker Football Club. Administration police officers at the Tononoka police lines in Mombasa spent the night out in the cold after their houses were flooded following a heavy downpour last evening. Morning found the officers trying to salvage their possessions after the rainwater seeped into their houses. Property of an unknown value was lost, with a section of officers reporting the loss of vital documents and electronic appliances. According to the residents of the Tononoka police lines, the government has continued to ignore their pleas to have their houses renovated in the face of the rainy season. They say the water found its way into their houses through leaking roofs and poor drainage systems. In other news, Mogadishu International Port is returning to life as Somalia emerges from decades of civil war that brought it once into to now a thriving port, and it was once on its knees. Today, business has picked up, with trucks arriving to offload tons of cargo from ships that are lining up at its harbor. African Union peacekeepers recently took control of various Al-Shabaab strongholds, paving way for entrepreneurs to launch their ventures once more. Well, Kistanyabwa reports.
Now that there is relative peace in Mogadishu following the ousting of Al-Shabaab militia that had taken control of the city, ships come from as far as Dubai and Pakistan laden with goods for sale. The Safina 2 vessel has been sailing these waters for over 10 months. This recent journey back to Somalia took them 10 days out at sea. Business here is on the rise. With the increase in traffic on the sea, work opportunities are on the rise for ordinary Somalis who work the port as casual laborers, and as the opportunities increase, so more Somalis continue to return home. The years of war have, however, taken a toll on the port. Facilities are inadequate and ships have to spend days offloading their cargo. The port has seen an increase in the number of cargo ships, with numbers up to 35 per month, giving much needed revenue for the country that now faces the task of rebuilding its basic infrastructure. After 2 decades of war, Somalia is seeing signs of hope after African Union peacekeepers took control of Mogadishu and other parts of the country that were strongholds of the Islamic militant group Al-Shabaab. The United Nations Security Council this week extended the mandate of the African Union peacekeeping force in Somalia for another 4 months.
You are watching KTN Saturday Night Live. Time for a commercial break now, but just ahead, student grapples with strange skin diseases. Stay with us. Back to KTN Saturday Night Live. We're glad you're watching. Now, the remains of ODM politician Shem Onyango Kwega, who was gunned down in Kisumu last month, were laid to rest in an emotional send-off today in a funeral dominated with security talk. His killing came amid a crime wave that rocked the lakeside city, leading to protests against the police. KTN's Fred Omulo reports.
Last week marked one of the lowest points in the relationship between Kisumu residents and the security apparatus after an unusual spike in crime. Today, a prominent victim of murder and ODM's pointman in Kisumu, Shem Kwega, was being laid to rest amid frantic changes in the police aimed at securing the city.
We gave them a detailed information about Kisumu's security problems. We appealed to them that we need Wanyama back, and Wanyama is now back in the city. We appeal to them that the rotten eggs in the security system must be removed, and some of them have been removed. We are watching very carefully that all must go.
A total of 5 murders that in some cases involved robberies shook the lakeside town and brought back bad memories of the post-election violence. So far, several senior police officers have been reshuffled, with the residents' preferred choice of Johnson Wanyama brought back to man the Kondele police station.
And I call upon the Chief Justice. Me, I'm a believer in the fact that you should not provoke a fellow human being. But when people who kill go and are taken in, and a few days later they come back in the name of having gotten a bail, then there's something wrong with our criminal justice system.
Prime Minister Raila Odinga recently discounted fears that the crime wave was part of a sinister plot to destabilize the region ahead of the general election, as some ODM MPs claimed. The vocal manner in which Kisumu residents have handled the murder of Shem Onyango Kwega has led to changes in the security apparatus that for now have brought a sense of calm. But doubts still linger on whether this approach is sustainable. From Nyahera in Kisumu County, I am Fredo Mulo.
On today's Healthy Use segment, we feature ichthyosis, a genetic skin disorder characterized by the presence of excessive amounts of dry surface scales, making one's skin to look like that of a fish. In a small village in Uasin Gishu County, a 10-year-old girl, Dorcas Mudhoni, is suffering from the disease that has caused her education. KTN's Masikandia with that story.
Every effort by 84-year-old Ephantus Mwangi since his granddaughter was born was to rid her of a disease little known to them, but no effort made by doctors got rid of what was ailing 10-year-old Dorcas Mudhoni. Njoki, as she is referred to, suffers from ichthyosis, derived from two Greek words meaning fish and disease, causing her skin to be dry and have scales, a condition that started shortly after birth.
Vile alianza kutoka skin, tukiendelea tu na clinic. Tukienda clinic, wanasema ni kawaida, ni ile ngozi ya mtoto. Ikiendelea ikakuwa worse.
Her economically challenged family has been struggling to make ends meet, leaning on odd jobs to put food on the table and get medication for Njoki.
The 2010 Senior Women's World Cross Country Champion Emily Chebet increased her chances to win the KCB Athletics Kenya jackpot when she held off the determined challenge from Boston Marathon runner-up Jemima Chelagat to clinch her second successive victory in Machakos this morning. 36-year-old Mark Kipto, who captained the Kenya team for the 2009 World Cross Country in Amman, showed his upstarts that he still has what it takes when he finished fourth in a race where newcomer and Kenya Wildlife Service athlete Silas Kimutai upset the form book when he trailed the winner to finish in second place.
Emily Chebet, who won the season opener in Nyahururu last weekend, did not have it easy, especially in the presence of Jemima Chelagat of the Kenya Defence Forces. Chebet broke away with 70 meters to go to win in a time of 25 minutes, 01.8 seconds. Mercy Chebwagen won the junior women's race in a time of 18 minutes, 52.6 seconds ahead of Edna Chepkemoi and Jacqueline Chebwagen. The men's senior long race belonged to the World Junior 10,000 meters bronze medalist Geoffrey Korir, who shocked the field to win in 32 minutes, 52.7 seconds. Among the established runners who fell to the late surge for the TEF by Korir included the Mwangagi pair of Caleb and John, who won the 2010 World Junior Cross and this year's Africa Cross gold medals in that order. Overnight rains delayed the start, but sunny conditions thereafter salvaged the situation. The third leg of the circuit will be in Kisii on the 17th of this month. Joshua Kemboy, KTN Sports Today.